All right, Yankees fans, buckle up because we've got a storm of updates coming straight from the Bronx, and it's time to break down everything that's been making noise around the pinstripes lately. From Paul Goldschmidt's future plans to the never-ending debate about Aaron Judge's legacy and even whispers about a possible shakeup in the front office, this one's packed. So let's get into it, because things are getting wild in Yankee land. Let's start with Paul Goldschmidt, or Goldie, as fans love to call him. The man came into New York last season on a one-year deal worth over $100 million, and even though he's nearing 40, he's made it pretty clear he's not ready to walk away just yet. When asked about his plans, Goldie said simply, "I love playing." And honestly, that one line said it all. This guy isn't chasing headlines, he's chasing one more shot at the game he loves, aiming for what would be his 16th major league season in 2026. Now, let's talk about that performance in pinstripes. His first season in the Bronx was a roller coaster. He came in with a completely new approach at the plate. Less focus on power, more on contact. And that change actually paid off early. His strikeout rate dropped dramatically, from over 26% the previous year down to under 19. That's a massive shift for a veteran who's always been known for his power bat. He was putting the ball in play more often, making contact on nearly 86% of pitches in the zone, a noticeable jump from the previous season. Early in the year, the results were impressive. By the end of May, Goldie was hitting well over 330 with a strong weighted runs created plus number that had him ranked among the best first basemen in the league. But baseball has a way of humbling even the best. June came, and suddenly the hits dried up. His average plummeted, and he struggled to find the same rhythm. The rest of the season was an uphill climb, and when the dust settled, his final line was solid, but not spectacular. Right around a .274 batting average with modest on-base and slugging numbers, translating to a league average offensive output. Not terrible by any means, but far from the Goldschmidt of old. Defensively, he was steady, if unspectacular. Slightly below average metrics across the board, but he brought leadership and stability to first base, something the Yankees sorely needed after Anthony Rizzo's decline. It wasn't flashy, but it was reliable. The problem came in October, when it mattered most. The Yankees bowed out in the division series against the Blue Jays, and Goldie found himself riding the bench for most of it, starting only 2 of the 6 postseason games. Ben Rice got most of the action, and that raised a few eyebrows about what the Yankees see in Goldie moving forward. But before anyone writes him off, there's one key detail that might keep his phone ringing this winter: his dominance against left-handed pitching. Against southpaws, Goldie turned back the clock. He absolutely mashed, hitting well over 330 with power, patience, and a minuscule strikeout rate barely over 11%. Numbers like that make him an attractive piece for any contender looking for a platoon advantage at first base or designated hitter. Maybe the days of playing every day are behind him, but in the right role, he could still be a dangerous weapon. The big question now is whether the Yankees should consider bringing him back in that kind of specialized capacity or move on entirely. And that's where things start to get complicated, because while Goldie's situation is interesting, the real tension in the Bronx right now revolves around leadership, or the lack thereof. After another season that ended way too early, fans are fed up. The calls for change are getting louder, and this time the noise is centered around 2 names: General Manager Brian Cashman and Manager Aaron Boone. Once again, the Yankees had all the talent in the world. Cody Bellinger came in and gave them solid production. Max Fried was everything they hoped for on the mound. Trent Grisham had a breakout year. And of course, Aaron Judge continued to play at an MVP level, carrying the offense for large stretches. On paper, this was a team built to make a serious run. But when the playoffs came, the same old issues showed up: lack of timely hitting, bullpen meltdowns, and questionable in-game decisions. The result? Another early exit. Another year without a World Series appearance. Boone, as always, is taking most of the heat. After the elimination game, he told reporters he wasn't worried about his job security and reminded everyone he's still under contract. But that confidence might not sit well with fans who have watched year after year of missed opportunities. Some analysts are already predicting that his time might finally be up, saying that after nearly a decade of diminishing returns, the Yankees are simply spinning their wheels under his leadership. The criticism isn't just about results, it's about decisions. Boone's unwavering loyalty to struggling players, like Anthony Volpe during a rough stretch that lasted nearly the entire season, left many scratching their heads. Add to that some controversial bullpen calls, like pulling Max Fried early in a playoff shutout only for the bullpen to immediately give up the lead, and you can understand why frustration has boiled over. Fans are demanding accountability, and right now, Boone is squarely in the crosshairs. As for Brian Cashman, the man who's built this roster for over 2 decades, the heat is also turning up. His defenders argue that he's still one of the smartest executives in baseball, pointing out the strong farm system and the aggressive trades that have kept the Yankees competitive every single year. But others believe that his approach has grown stale, that the team has lost its edge and identity under his direction. The front office can't seem to balance analytics with instinct, and it's costing them when it matters most. Polls among fans show how divided Yankee Nation really is. Some want both Boone and Cashman gone, arguing that the organization needs a total reset to break free from mediocrity. Others say stability is the way forward, insisting that constant turnover isn't the solution. But there's no denying the frustration. It's been 16 long years since the Yankees last won a World Series. 16 years without a championship feels like an eternity in the Bronx, and patience is running out. In the middle of all this chaos, one player remains the face of the franchise and the center of yet another heated debate. Aaron Judge, the captain, the superstar, the modern-day slugger rewriting record books, is somehow still being questioned about his legacy. The question echoing through talk shows and online debates is simple but divisive. Can Aaron Judge truly be considered one of the all-time great Yankees without a World Series ring? It's a brutal standard, but this is New York. And in the Bronx, greatness has always been defined by championships. Judge has done everything else. He shattered home run records, earned multiple MVPs, and carried the offense on his back through injuries, slumps, and constant pressure. If he wins another MVP this year, it would be his 3rd in 4 seasons, putting him in the same conversation as Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, and Mickey Mantle. That's sacred ground in Yankee history. This season alone, Judge was unstoppable. He led all of Major League Baseball in almost every major offensive category: batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, WAR, you name it. He hit over 50 home runs again, something only a handful of players in history have done multiple times. He's a generational player, a lock for the Hall of Fame, and arguably the best hitter on the planet right now. And yet, the critics keep coming back to one thing: 0 rings. In Yankee lore, numbers don't tell the whole story. Ruth had 4 championships. Gehrig had 6. DiMaggio had 9. Berra had 10. Mantle had 7. Even Jeter and Rivera, from the more modern era, have 5 each. And that's where the comparison starts to sting for Judge. As great as his personal stats are, he's still chasing that elusive team glory that defines a Yankee legend. But maybe that's exactly what drives him. You can see it in the way he plays, the leadership, the focus, the refusal to make excuses. Judge isn't satisfied with individual accolades. He wants a ring. He's made it clear that anything less than a championship isn't enough. And as fans, that's exactly the mentality you want from your captain. The debate will rage on, and every year that passes without a title will add more fuel to it. But make no mistake, Aaron Judge is already one of the greatest to ever wear pinstripes. The only question left is whether he can cement his name alongside the Immortals by finally bringing another parade back to New York. All right, Yankees Nation, let's keep the momentum going, because if you thought the story ended with Goldschmidt's future and Judge's legacy, think again. The Bronx is buzzing with chatter about strategy, roster decisions, and the relentless pressure of expectations, and there's no way to ignore the growing tension around how this team will move forward after yet another playoff disappointment. One of the most pressing issues the Yankees face right now is figuring out how to maximize the talent already on the roster. You have veterans like Goldschmidt who can still produce in a platoon or situational role, yet there's always the delicate balance of giving younger players their chance to develop while also staying competitive. Ben Rice's performance in the postseason highlighted exactly that challenge. When Goldschmidt started only 2 of the 6 playoff games, it sent a clear message that experience alone isn't enough to secure playing time in crunch moments. The Yankees have to make tough decisions about who gets reps, and those decisions are going to be even more scrutinized after fans have spent years hoping for a team that can finally break through. At the same time, the spotlight remains firmly on Aaron Judge. His incredible 2025 season once again proved that he is capable of carrying a lineup on his shoulders. 53 home runs, a batting average over .330, and an on-base plus slugging over 1,144. Those numbers don't just belong to an MVP candidate. They belong to a generational talent. Yet, even with stats like these, the narrative coming from some corners of the media keeps circling back to one thing. Championships define greatness in New York, and Judge doesn't have that elusive ring yet. The argument may seem harsh, but in the Bronx, history weighs heavy, and legacies are measured not only by records but by banners in Yankee Stadium. The Yankees' inability to translate talent into October success has fueled calls for change at the top. Aaron Boone's managerial decisions, particularly in high-pressure situations, have come under a microscope. Fans recall moments like Game 1 of the Wild Card Series, when pulling a hot Max Fried early in a shutout allowed the Blue Jays to seize momentum and eventually take the game. It's moments like that which define narratives in New York. Every decision is magnified, every misstep remembered. Boone's commitment to certain players through slumps, while loyal, has sparked frustration because it sometimes appeared to prioritize relationships over results. In a city where winning is everything, that's a luxury the Yankees cannot afford. Then there's Brian Cashman. The general manager has been a cornerstone of the franchise for decades, and his legacy is already secured in many ways because of the sustained competitiveness of the team. But even long-term success can be questioned when the ultimate prize keeps slipping through your fingers. Fans are debating whether it's time for a new vision, someone who can combine analytical insight with the aggressive, clutch decision-making that seems to elude the team in October. The whispers of a complete front office overhaul are getting louder, and the poll numbers show the split in opinion. 41% of fans want both Boone and Cashman gone, while 26% think the duo should stay. For those in the middle, Boone bears the brunt of the blame, highlighting that, regardless of how much talent the roster holds, leadership is under the microscope. But the story isn't just about management. The Yankees also need to figure out how to maintain momentum with their core players while integrating emerging talent. Cody Bellinger, Max Fried, and Trent Grisham have all shown flashes of brilliance, and there's no doubt that the lineup has potential to dominate. Yet, translating that potential into consistent performance over the long grind of a season and the pressure cooker of the playoffs remains the ultimate test. The Yankees have the pieces. The question is whether they can put them together at the right time. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The New York Yankees are quietly stirring the rumor mill once again, and this time, it involves one of the most coveted pitchers in Major League Baseball. Whispers from inside the league suggest that the Bronx Bombers have managed to secure Corbin Burnes, a move that could completely reshape the team's rotation and signal a renewed push for dominance in the American League. While neither the Yankees nor Burnes have officially confirmed the deal, sources hint that talks have progressed far beyond casual discussions, and insiders are buzzing with the potential impact of such a signing. Burnes, known for his devastating fastball and pinpoint control, has been a stalwart on the mound for his current team, racking up strikeouts and keeping opponents guessing with his signature slider. For a team like the Yankees, who have been seeking to solidify a rotation capable of carrying them deep into October, Burnes would represent more than just a star addition. He could be the linchpin of a pitching staff that many analysts have criticized as inconsistent in recent seasons. The speculation alone has fans on edge, imagining a rotation stacked with talent that could rival any in recent memory. The timing of the whispers is also fueling excitement. Rumors suggest that the Yankees are willing to go all in, potentially offering a package that includes top prospects and perhaps even a veteran to balance payroll in order to bring Burnes to the Bronx. If true, this would mark a bold statement from the Yankees front office, a commitment not just to compete, but to dominate. Across social media, fans are already imagining the sheer intimidation factor of Burnes taking the mound at Yankee Stadium, paired with the team's already formidable lineup. While nothing is confirmed, the buzz is undeniable. Baseball insiders are watching closely, noting that even a hint of this acquisition could shift trade dynamics league-wide. Should Burnes land in New York, the Yankees' rotation would instantly become one of the most talked about in the majors, setting the stage for a thrilling and potentially historic season. For now, all eyes remain on the Bronx, as the rumor mill churns and the dream of Corbin Burnes in pinstripes tantalizes fans and analysts alike. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.